How's it going, guys? Today I have the best champion build in-game for the Void Titan, paired with Paragon Greaves. This build protects you in most sticky situations and deals some major damage one-shotting champions and even some insane damage to bosses. This is one of my new favorite Titan builds in the game, and today I'm glad to be sharing it with all of you. Without further ado, let's get into the build. Starting off our build here, we want to go on Void Titan. I like to run Ward of Dawn. This is going to help a lot with the Void effect for our melee, so we're doing more damage. And also, Ward of Dawn is just one of the safer options in PvE and PvP. You get a weapon damage bonus when you go into your Ward of Dawn, and it's very tanky, so enemies can't take it out if you need extra protection. Overall, I'd say way better than Sentinel Shield, unless you're running like Doomfang Pauldron. Sentinel Shield isn't really usable that much. For the class ability, I have Rally Barricade, so we can put that down faster. We're going to use our Barricade a lot, because we're going to get Void Overshield with one of our aspects over here, and that Overshield is going to let our melee do even more damage, so I run Rally Barricade. For the melee, you want to run Shield Bash. Do not have Shield Throw on accident. Run Shield Bash. This can do insane damage and suppresses targets. If you hit like a Tormentor with this, they're literally going to do nothing. They're just going to stand there. I think a lot of enemies will do that, so not only is the damage great, but enemies will just stop exist, just they'll just stop being themselves. I don't know. For the grenade, I'm running Vortex. I think everybody pretty much runs Vortex. It's the best grenade, and it got a damage buff this season with the 20%, so I like to run this. For the aspects, I'm running Offensive Bulwark and Bastion. Offensive Bulwark, when we put our Ward of Dawn down, our grenade charges pretty much instantly, so we get a grenade as soon as we put it down. And while we have an overshield from our Rally Barricade or this, our melee damage and range is going to increase a lot. And when you pair this to Paragon Greaves, it's insane. The aspect I'm running next to it is Bastion. When we cast our super, we're going to overshield at nearby allies, and every time we put our barricade down, anytime we stand near it or our teammates stand near it, they get an overshield, and that overshield is going to go great with the melee damage. So 100% run these two. No point in running this really with this build, so run these two. And finally, for our fragments, I have Echo of Remnants. Our grenades are going to linger longer. Let's go with the Vortex Grenade. And we're going to pair that with Echo of Undermining, where our Void Grenades weaken, so we can do a lot of extra damage to our enemies. I think it's like a 15% debuff to enemies, so that's really great. And finally, I have Echo Provision. Damaging targets with grenades grants melee energy, so we can get that melee back way more often and be putting a lot of damage into whatever targets we're going after. So just throw these three on, you'll be good. For weapons, like in my last build, I like to run Monte Carlo. If you want to get your melee back just from doing damage, that's really all you need, other than maybe some extra stuff to get melee energy, but we got that covered with the rest of the build, so that's up to you. The other two weapons don't matter, although I recommend Void weapons, because if you pick up Orbs of Power from your artifact mod, you're going to do volatile rounds with these two, so I'd run that. This Waveframe is really good. If you have this, put this on, and the Taipan's always good. If you have like something else that's not in your fusion rifle, it's Void, you can run that too. And finally, for the armor, I have two hands-on and a Void Siphon. Keep in mind, hands-on and Ashes to Acids don't combine anymore, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. But I have two hands-on and a Void Siphon on, so I like to run that, and whenever I use Void weapons, I get an Orb of Power, so mainly just super energy right here. My gauntlets, I have one Bolstering Detonation, a Heavy-Handed, and a Firepower, mainly just for orbs, and also Bolstering Detonation is going to give us class ability energy when we cause damage to the grenade. And we're going to want to pop that barricade a lot to get that overshield, so I like to run that. Chest plate, I pretty much kept it the same as the last build. It was just a bunch of resistances, and that's going to keep us alive a lot easier from mainly Cabal and all that stuff, so this is nice to run. With this build, you want to be running Paragon Greaves. This is what's going to give us that insane damage. When you sprint and jump and do a shoulder charge, it's going to increase your damage by like 6 times, I think, whatever that multiplies up to. But it's a lot of damage, and combined with Bastion, or whatever the fuck, what's it called? Combined with Offensive Bulwark, you're going to be putting in some insane damage. So definitely be running this. Definitely be running Invigoration, Insulation, so we can get our melee energy back and our class ability back, and Stacks on Stacks goes into our utility kickstart. So when we're popping our class ability, we're gonna get a bit of it back, which is nice. I have Reaper on, so when we do get a class ability popped and we get a weapon kill with our Monte Carlo or anything else, we're gonna get an Orb of Power after that. And I just have one outreach on, or you can use a bomber. It's up to you, or any of these, I guess. But that's what I run. Leave a like, and if you're new, consider subscribing. But other than that, guys, I'll talk to you in the next one.